Hey everyone, it's Fun Around, and my name is Jordan, and this video will be for Wednesday's slate of games. We have a massive slate. So I do have a couple of picks for you guys. The lines are out for like 3 different games, but then the rest of them will be in the pinned comment. Trying not to go too crazy with the picks, but there are so many games. I'm going to try to go back to the checklist method because I'll be honest, January hasn't gotten off to a great start. When I was doing the checklist method, things were much better in November and December, hitting at around a 62% hit rate with the checklist. If you don't know what that is, I'm just checking the boxes with the matchup. Do they have a good matchup? Are they playing well recently? Have they played well against that team in the past? And do they play well home or away, wherever they're playing? And if it's a back-to-back, I'm checking, do they play well in back-to-backs? So just some boxes I want to check. I want to be able to say yes to all of them before I make the play, and then I'll feel good about it. I'll feel confident about it. I've been just kind of, moving around just because there's been just so many injuries. You guys are filling in, and you kind of have to play around with the data. How does this guy play with so many minutes because this guy's been out, and then you're just trying to find some plays, and then they don't end up playing up to the level that you anticipated them to. So I do have a question before I get into these picks. The WNBA Unrivaled 3-on-3 starts on Friday. I am familiar with the players because I did an entire WNBA season, so I could potentially make picks for that. I know they won't be as popular as NBA videos, but if people have general interest in that, I can give my opinion on those plays and those players. Take Angel Reese rebounds right now if it's available. Before I get into these picks, you'll see images that come up on the screen right here. That's from a data app called Outlier. There's a link in the description that'll give you a 7-day free trial for Outlier. And since this slate is so big, I don't have enough time to deep dive into every single matchup and give you the good matchups for each matchup. So I do have a couple of plays, and then I have a few matchups from the slate that I feel like are great matchups to take a look at. But this first pick is going to be Desmond Bane. I like him over 17.5 points at -117. Now, he's been very, very consistent for the Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been pretty consistent as well. I did check his numbers with Ja Morant and Triple J on the court. He still has been consistent as of late, hitting this line. So you see it on the screen. The matchup is against the Spurs. They give up the 14th most points against the shooting guard position, and I'm fine with getting a matchup that's in the middle. It's average, so I'm going to give this a C grade on the matchup because I love the rest of the data that I see. So recent history, he's gone over in 10 out of the last 11 games. I give that an A+. Head-to-head, he went over last year in 2 games, and then the year before that, he went over in 3 out of 4 games. So head-to-head history, I give an A+. This will be the first time they're meeting this year, or at least he's playing against them. And then home and away, he's gone over 9 straight road games, so playing well on the road. We have all the data there for recent history, head-to-head. Home and away, it all looks good. The matchup is average. I'll take an average matchup for a guy who's been this consistent. So an overall grade of an A for Desmond Bane. And before we get into this next pick, if you guys could, please like the video. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you have a little bit of extra time, could you just leave a comment for the algorithm? You can just say hello, and that helps get this video out there for more people to see. And I also want to apologize for no video yesterday. I'm still trying to figure out how to spread my time out to be the dad that I want to be, the husband I want to be, and all that stuff. Just ended up not making a video last night, so doing my best to try to mix the time around. It's going to get even tougher when I have to go back to work. And also, if you guys want to get away from Prizepicks, get away from all those flat lines and all that stuff, and you want more dynamic payouts, more options, check out Underdog Fantasy, Sleeper, ParlayPlay, ChalkBoard, and BETR. BETR will match your first bet up to $250. The rest will match your first deposit up to $100. Links are in the description. That'll take you there with the promo code. Promo code is FINALROUND11. So this next pick will be Jrue Holiday of the Celtics up against the Raptors. I like him over 1.5 blocks plus steals at -115. You also could go with 1.5 steals if you're feeling lucky at +150. But the matchup is the Raptors, and they give up the second most steals to teams. They give up the fourth most steals to the point guard position. They give up the seventh most blocks to teams, and then the point guard position's 19th most, so a little bit below average for blocks. But we're really looking for steals, and then he can get a block every once in a while. He's a good blocking point guard, and that has helped him get most of these hits on this line. So matchup is a B+. Because I'm weighting it more towards the steals, and that's what he was able to do earlier this year, which I'll talk about in a second. Recent history, he's gone over 9 out of the last 10 games. The one miss was Oklahoma City Thunder, and they are a very clean team to play against, so very tough to get steals and blocks against. So A+ there for recent history. Head-to-head, he had 3 steals against them earlier this year in a 54-point blowout. So this does have blowout potential. If it does end up being a blowout, hopefully it's because defense from guys like Jrue Holiday caused that blowout. So he had 3 steals, and then last year he went over in 2 out of 4 games. So I give head-to-head an A- just because we have this year's data, and then last year doesn't count as much. So A- for that. And then home and away, he's gone over in 10 out of his last 12 road games. 2 misses was OKC, and then the other was a blowout versus the Wizards. So there was a blowout there where he did not go over. He did not play as many minutes. So it is possible the blowout happens so early that he's not able to get the blocks plus steals. But like I said, hopefully that adds on to it and is a reason why there is a blowout because of defense. So I give home and away an A, overall grade of an A for this play at -115. Now I'm going to get into a lot of the matchups that I like for this giant slate. And looking at this slate, there's one game that just pops right out, and one you're going to have to look at if you want to look at some overs, and it's the Bulls versus the Hawks. 2 of the fastest paces in the NBA going up against each other. Unfortunately, both of these teams will be on a back-to-back, so they could get a little tired near the end. So something to think about if you want to go with like first half type props or like first half totals. But Trae Young has an amazing matchup here. 6 most points to the point guard position and the most assists allowed to point guards. They're going to be up and down. He's going to be dishing it all over to his teammates. So his assist line is going to be very high, but this is a matchup where he can destroy it. And then on the other side of things, a guy who's been pretty consistent. I'm taking a look at today's games for Tuesday, and he's scoring pretty well. It's Nikola Vucevic, 6 most points allowed to the center position for the Hawks. Always can look at Zach LaVine. His points line is going to be super high. And then Kobe White is another guy to look at. As long as Ayo Dosunmu stays out, Kobe White is a solid play. But at the center position, I think we can get some easier buckets in a fast-paced matchup. Nice guy to take a look at. He's been a rebounding machine for us. Every time I mention him, he just dominates rebounds, and he's got another good matchup here, and it's Walker Kessler up against the Hornets. The Hornets give up the 6th most rebounds to the center position, and I'm about to talk about it in a second. The Jazz are missing most of their team, so Walker Kessler could get a lot of run here. Hopefully it is not a blowout with the Hornets. Hopefully the Hornets don't have enough firepower to blow out a crippled Utah Jazz. They possibly could, but Walker Kessler should get a decent amount of run here. So this brings me to one of my sleepers, and it's Bryce Sensabaugh from The Ohio State University. The Hornets give up the 2nd most points to the power forward position, and Keontae George is questionable. So there's your point guard. Colin Sexton is out, so there goes your shooting guard. John Collins is out, so there goes your power forward. Lauri Markkanen is out. There goes your power forward. Johnny Juzang is out. There goes your shooting guard / small forward. And then, of course, Jordan Clarkson is out. There's your backup shooting guard. So Bryce Sensabaugh can actually score pretty well. The last 3 games, he had 16, 27, and 34. His line is probably going to be pretty high, and you're probably going to be like, who is this? So why is this so high? But a great matchup, second most points to the power forward position. I really like this spot for Bryce Sensabaugh. They really don't have too many other options to go to, so he should get a ton of volume and a ton of playing time in this matchup. And before I get into this last matchup, I do want to shout out BetMGM. They will match up to $1,500 for your first bet in bonus bets. So there will be a link in the description that'll take you there for that promo, and also I'll put that in the pinned comments. This last play is going to be Jalen Green. He has been a new man since the new year, going up against Denver, who give up the second most points to the shooting guard position. He doesn't get too many assists, so you can take a look at his assist line and how much they add on to his points line, but they do give up the second most assists. They give up the most assists in the league. I'm pretty sure that hasn't changed. So you could look at guys like Fred VanVleet's assist. Even Amen Thompson's been racking up a decent amount of assists. Alfred Sengun assist. All of the assist plays are live for the guys on the Rockets. But Jalen Green, let's talk about him. Since the new year, he has scored 22 points, 27, 33, 29, 27, and 42. So really good matchup. The Denver Nuggets have been playing at a top 5 fastest pace in the NBA. So he's going to come in here. He's going to get a ton of shots up. And I know he's been inconsistent throughout his career, but this looks like a consistent streak for me. So I do like Jalen Green in this spot. So if you would like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. You can hop on in there and talk about NBA, talk about NFL playoffs. College football's got 1 game left. Like I said, I'm going to that. Cannot wait to get to Atlanta and watch that live. And then as far as a recap goes for the last video, it did not go so well. I took a lot of backup type guys who had been playing really well and their stats looked amazing. It's just they sucked. They didn't get enough minutes, or they just were cold. So one of the guys that wasn't a backup was Anthony Edwards. First quarter points, took 7 shots in the first quarter and made 2 of them. Ends up dropping over 40 points in the game, but missed his first quarter. Then I had Luke Kennard of Memphis, and I think that was points assist, and he barely played at all, got like half his normal minutes. Julian Champagny, he shot like 1 for 7, got cold, they took him out, that he didn't play his normal minutes. Jonas Valanciunas, rebounds, he went over on that. And then I had a parlay with Zubac and Triple J. He missed, Triple J missed the points by 3, so... I know a lot of people have their thoughts, and I've talked about this before on parlays to get to even money, kind of like that ladder challenge type even money. A lot of people say just do 2 legs. Some say 3, no more than 3, stuff like that. But trying with the 2 legs, you're still, the guys' props are still really, really close to what their normal prop is, and you might as well just run it with the normal prop. Is how I'm feeling when I see those. So just some thoughts there. Remember, check the pinned comment for more plays. This huge slate, like I said. So I'm going to get this edited and get it out to you. God bless you all. It's Final Round. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.